parallel, perpendicular, or neither. We need to understand if it's parallel, okay, this would mean basically the same slope, which basically is meaning the same number. So when we're checking, we're looking for the same number. If I'm doing perpendicular, perpendicular is opposite reciprocal slope. So I'm just going to abbreviate that, which means you flip number and change sign. Sorry. And then if it's neither, it's basically saying it's not one or the other. So on 67, because they gave me 2 points, you should be using to find the slope of AB. Yes, y2 minus y1. So 3 minus -2, and then -1 minus -6. Use your calculator. Make sure you're putting in the correct numbers. Like the way we're missing points is because we don't set it up correctly. So go to your calculator, go to alpha x, stop it, and type in the setup. I'll let you do it because I'm not gonna, you need to physically see. Okay, this one is 1, so we're gonna do the same thing for CD. We're gonna find the slope of CD using the same formula, -7 minus -2, -1 minus 4. Put that in the calculator and check. Okay, because we have the same number, this is our symbol for parallel. 2 vertical lines, or the double L in the word parallel. Now, my concern is when it's not 2 points, when you have an equation. For the equations, you need to solve for y. So on this first equation here, I would have to divide by 2. So y equals -3x. You want the equation in mx plus b form because the m is your slope. So on this first equation, m equals -3. I'm going to solve the same thing, divide by the coefficient. This y equals -4 over -12 can reduce to a positive 1/3 x. And now this is my slope, the number in front. M here equals positive 1/3. When I compare those two numbers, this is a flip and changing of signs. So this one is perpendicular. Yeah. So on 70 here, the equation's in the form I need it to be. There it is. Here's m for the first equation. Here's my m for the second equation. What type of lines would these be? Guys, yes. Abdullah, I need you to stop talking. Now, on number 71 here, the second equation is in the right form. What's the slope in the second equation? Yes, the 3/4. The problem is the first equation is not solving for y. So what will we have? I'm going to rewrite it down here. I have 8y equals 6x plus 3. How would I solve this for y? Yeah, divide everything by 8. So now y equals, this 6 over 8 can be reduced to 3/4 x plus 3 over 8. I know that's the y-intercept is a fraction, but I don't need that. I just need the m. Yep, because they're the same, this is parallel. So you're gonna need to solve for y so you can see the slope. So on 72 here, the first equation, the 3x minus 2y equals 6. It is not solved for y. To do that, you're gonna need to minus the 3x first. Watch your sign. This is a negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 6.
Then divide everything by negative 2.
Yes, divide by negative 2. Oh, sorry, negative 2. So y
Equals 2 over 2x.
min
Negative, or minus 3.
minus 3. Okay, now I can see the slope. It is 3 over 2. I'm just going to circle that number. Now, on previous videos, and I haven't really stressed this in this class yet, there is a shortcut whenever it's in standard form to get the slope. Okay, standard form is when I have ax plus by equals c. Okay, I'm lining it up because I need you to see who is the a and who is the b. Okay, now whenever I'm finding the slope in standard form, the formula or the shortcut is negative a over b. Okay, so in this second equation, who's a? What value is a?
2.
What values? Oh, you just the 2.
2.
What value is the b?
4.
So if I wanted to find the shortcut, all I have to do is write, because this is my a right here, I'm now going to do a negative a. So that's negative 2 over my b, which was 4, right? And that would reduce negative 1/2. So now I can compare these two numbers. There's no relationship. They're totally different. So this would be neither. Okay. All right, now the last section deals with the proportional relationship notes. So the last section right here, which is direct variation and proportional relationship. When I'm talking about the notes, I'm talking about these notes that you did on quizzes or you should have done. It was part of your checkoff. Okay. You have to know, oops, sorry. You have to, yeah. You have to know these two forms or three forms. The constant of variation, we do that by just doing y over x. That's our k. Okay. The equation is always in this form, and the y over x is our k, and the graph should look like a straight line through the origin. These three things we have to know for this. All right, so refer to your notes if you're not too sure. Okay, I asked you to do it from the table. We asked you to look off the graph if it's direct variation or not. If you followed your quizzes, then you should be able to complete our last section. So on this first one, which equation is not, sorry, what happened? It's right here. There we go. Which equation is not a direct variation? Okay, a direct variation looks like this, guys. Y equals kx. The important is we see the k, that's the number in front of x, and there's nothing added or subtracted to it.
So it's
A is not the direct variation. B is because this is our k, the 5 over 16. And there's no y-intercept. C also is. Your k would be 4. Your k is like your slope. It's the same thing as your m. Okay? So on 74, find the constant of variation, the k. Basically, we're looking for what is in front of x. Okay? So y equals 5x. What is the k? 5. Very good. Y equals 1/2 x. What's our k? 1/2. Y equals negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3. Okay. Now, when we get to this section, suppose y varies directly with x. y over x is how I get to my k. So it has to be set up as y is on top and x is on the bottom. To solve this, we do a proportion. Since they're telling me y is 16 when x is 18, that would be 16 over 18. That's going to equal, find the y, which is on top, when x is 16. So,
Y would be 14. Two less than X.
no, you should cross multiply. Get your calculator. When we have two ratios, we cross multiply to solve for y. This is 18y equals 16 times 16 is what? I think it's 256.
Yep.
All right,
And
so
then you simplify it.
yeah, and what do? We have to divide it by 18. It's okay. It's the fraction answer. Just give the decimal. Yeah, so you did, okay, so you did 256. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. You did like this, 256 over 18, right? That's the reduced fraction. Okay, so the decimal answer, you'd have to do divide by 9. Yeah, 14.2 repeating.
Does it require the decimal?
It will have one or the other.
Oh.
Yeah. So as long as you have one or the other, you're right. Okay, so if I'm doing 77 here, okay? Again, y varies directly with x. Y is 6 when x is 8. So starting off with that first statement, that would be 6 over 8. Find y, there we go, when x is 9. And then you cross multiply. If I ask you to find x, then make sure x is on the bottom. Okay. 8y equals 54, that is correct. And then divide by 8, yes. Because you're cross multiplying.
75.
Yes.
So y equals 6.75.
Mm-hmm. All right, and the last section says determine if the relationship is proportional or not. If it is, find k and write the equation. The first thing, for it to be proportional, no curve, straight line, and it has to go through the origin.
Can I try the more question?
Just a second. Is this graph proportional?
No.
Yep, this is
No,
a
it's not
no.
straight.
Okay, not a straight line, exactly. Now, 81, is this proportional?
Yeah. It
Yes.
crosses through the
Origin. Okay, so since this is yes, all we need to now do is find the k. That is our rise over run. This would be up 1,
And to the right 2.
to the right 2. K is 1 over 2. So the equation would be y equals 1 over 2x. We take the k is what's in front of x. Now, if it's a table, for it to be proportional, you have to check y over x for all of them. So I'm gonna, no, well, y over x for this one is 33 over 11. That is 3. For this one, it's 36 over 12. Also 3. 45 over 15. Also 3. 99 over 33. 3. So this is yes, okay? They have to be, so y, yeah, k equals 3, so this would be y equals 3x. Okay? Do we understand what we're looking for on the graph versus the table? All right, so when we're done with this, I'll do the last stamp, I'll check it, and then I'm gonna open up an extra credit on quizzes to help you study and review to see if you're ready for the test, all right? So make sure we do that. Now I want you to try the remaining problems here. I do want to talk about 84 real quick. You might need to use your calculator because remember we're doing y over x for each one to compare. So this is 2 over the fraction 2/3, and that will, if you forgot how to do fractions, when we do fractions we really divide, we flip and multiply, we change it to a multiplication problem. But if you have a calculator 84, the app, this would be the same calculator function we use. And we would have put 2 on the top, and then I'm actually going to change that to a fraction here as 2/3 to say 2 divided by 2/3. Okay, or I can say 2 and then divide by the fraction 2/3. Okay, and it still comes out to be 3. Okay, so don't let the fractions, I guess, scare you. This is 3, and then you're going to do check the other ones. 18/6. Remember, they all have to come out to be 3 for it to be proportional. And that would be your K. Now, on the last page here, they're giving you the K. So since I know K is 2/3, I want you to use that to complete the table. So basically, the function or the equation of a proportional relationship or direct variation is Kx. So I'm just going to write down here, this is going to be K is 2/3 x. So whatever x is, we're plugging in 2/3. I mean, we're plugging in the number for x and multiplying by 2/3. So like this would say 2/3 times 3, and that would turn into just 2. Now here, I have the 8, which is the y. I'm trying to get the x. So if I'm doing this with pencil paper, the 8 equals 2/3 x. And to solve for x, remember we had to get rid of the fraction by multiplying by the reciprocal. So sorry. That means times 3/2 times 3/2. This comes out to be 12. Because 2 goes to 8 4 times, and 4 times 3 is 12. Now, you could just go straight to your calculator. Since our equations here, we have the k, like this is qx. Like on this first one, if I just put that equation in the calculator, oops, sorry, go to my calculator. Go to y equals, clear these out, and do your 2/3 x, and then go second graph to your table. Then you can fill in your missing values. So we're gonna have to fill in based on what the given y. So like on this one we have the 6, but here we have the given y of 8, or by the given x. So I would have to go up to get these. Oh no, sorry, go the other way. So like there is an 8 right there. Y is 8 when x is 12. So the second equation was y equals, they gave us x, the k is 2. So this would be 2x. And then second graph to go to my table. And that will help me fill in what's missing. So on here we need to find when y is a -16. And so right now these are all positive, so I gotta go up. And I can use that. That means x is a -8. So you can use your calculator, or you can just do pencil and paper math. Okay, just working backwards, like even plugging in. So like if I'm trying to find 7, the x when y is a -7, then this would be -7 equals 2x, and then we're solving for x. This is going to be a decimal answer, okay, or a fraction answer. Now here, application of proportional relationships. So in this problem, they tell us our proportional relationship right here. The equation is y equals 10x. I want you to graph the equation and interpret the slope. So to make a t-chart, a t-chart is when we make an x column and a y column like here. If x represents the number of gigabytes, y represents the cost. So if I have no gigabytes, 0 cost, but if I have a 1, that's saying 1 times 10, 2. Okay, I think you see the pattern. Now to graph that, I can do increments of 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, but I can't do 1 here. I would need that to be increments of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. So then I can show my proportional relationship like such. We would draw, I'm just going to use my app here. We would draw a line through that origin, through those points, okay? And then they just want you to ask questions based on our equation and our graph. For example, make the line of this at least 3 points, so we already did that. what is k? Well, since our equation is y equals 10x, k is the 10. Okay, what is the slope? Our slope is our 10. Or you can say 10 over 1. What does the slope mean? It means the rate of change as the number of gigabytes increase. Okay, the cost would increase, right? And then you will have some extra credit on quizzes to help you study, and I would strongly suggest to do that. There's going to be two versions. One that would probably be just flashcards, and one would be practice problems. All right, so that takes care of your review. Make sure you look over it. You can explain how to do questions. They're going to be very similar to the tests. All right, thanks.